Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Tonight I'd like to talk about UQ and inclusive language. So there's an article here from the Daily Mail. Political correctness gone mad, outrage as students are marked down for using words like mankind, works and workmanship in essays. But some universities have even banned the word she. Okay. So top universities across Australia have taken to slashing students' grades. I think that's a bit hyperbolic, for using banned gender language. Terms such as man, she, wife, mother, and other terminology that angers the PC Brigade have been blacklisted. Students claimed that they have lost marks for referring to mankind or workmanship in assignments, as they're not deemed inclusive language. So here's the thing, it's about inclusive language. People are losing marks for using everyday speech because it's not gender neutral, a politics student told the Courier Mail. The student said the university can't just ban every word with man in it, as more blacklist words are uncovered, including sportsmanship and man-made. Bloody hell. The acting executive dean of the University of Queensland Facilities of Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor Julie Duck, think the penalties are justified. I wonder if this is just kind of the style of academic writing that's emerging in this time period. Maybe it's indicative of where our society is and how screwed up really our priorities are. Students are advised to avoid gender-biased language in the same way they are advised to avoid racist language, cliches, contradictions, colloquialisms, and slang in their essays. She said that these issues should only marginally impact marks depending on the severity of the infringement. Queensland University of Technology students are also being impacted by the university's politically correct crusade. Students are being penalised for failing to use inclusive language and warned against describing women in a secondary position to something or somebody else. This includes but is not limited to wife of, mother of, or daughter of. The suffix man is deemed sexist due to the implications that the comment is referential to a man. Griffith University tells staff and students to look for non-binary pronouns so that misgendering doesn't occur. Universities are also going so far as to reject notions of correct grammar in favour of excluding gendered language. Wow. Okay, so political correctness is taking the place of correct grammar. Now that's just crazy. The University of Sydney prefers students to create sentences that are grammatically incorrect but politically correct rather than use the words he or she. The example their style guide provides to exemplify this is if a student wants their results early, they should go to the student centre. Okay, the University of how's that wrong? If a student wants their results early, they should go to their student centre. That makes sense. What are you rambling about? Or he or she should go to the student centre, I guess. Yes, well, maybe my English is just bad. My grammar sucks. The University of Newcastle is yet another institution joining the fold with an inclusive language guide that bans gendered language, telling students to use words such as humanity, human race, or humankind instead. Federal Education Minister Simon Birmingham openly disagrees with the policies, claiming that they enforce nanny state stuff on students. Our universities should be better than this rubbish, he said. Okay, so I've actually got one of the guides that they have from the University of Queensland. I mean, this is interesting. We had stuff, guides for writing essays when I went to uni, but they kind of taught us things like how to, cite and reference things, what style to use, the differences in style. You'd get marked down for having a bloody comma in the wrong place. But now if you use the word he or she, So let's see, what is inclusive language? We'll just go through this briefly. Inclusive language is language that is respectful and promotes the acceptance and value of all people. It is language which is free from words, phrases, or tones that demean, insult, exclude, stereotype, infantilize, or trivialize people on the basis of their membership of a certain group or because of a particular attribute. Oh, this is just, I need a coffee if I'm going to go through this rubbish. Inclusive language, it is intersexual, is not about impinging on freedom of speech or political correctness. Oh, it's not, isn't it? It feels like it bloody well is. It is about communicating in a way that is accessible and respectful and values, include and empowers all members of your audience. See, this is the thing. Traditionally, they'd write he for everything. And that worked. You knew that was the traditional way of writing. We don't do that so much anymore, but I guess we're now super inclusive. Language is dynamic and fluid, and the meaning and connotations of words can change rapidly. Yeah, if you engineer it. Why is language important? Language is extremely powerful. Language can consciously or unconsciously offend, intimidate, belittle, exclude, reinforce harmful stereotypes, and contribute to the unequal status of individuals. Language can also have very positive effects on people. When inclusive language is used, it can make people feel included, valued, and empowered. What about the people that resent? They feel excluded, or all the people who are frustrated that they are being forced to do this garbage. What's their importance? I bet you they're the majority. Principles of inclusive language. Any group interaction should be applied with care and consideration, with an awareness of the diversity within and between groups, and always be couched in inclusive terms. Use people-centric language which focuses on the person and reflects the individuality of people. People-centric language doesn't classify or stereotype people based on their associations or identity with a group or culture. Only reference personal attributes or characteristics when it is relevant to the context. Wow, see, I would have gotten in so much bloody trouble with this back in my day uni. Consider a strengths-based approach, recognizing the resilience of individuals and focusing on abilities, knowledge, and capacities, rather than a deficit approach, focusing on deficiencies. That's not too bad a thing. But then again, sometimes you need to highlight people's deficiencies so they can improve. Where appropriate, ask about the language the person prefers and respects their wishes. Don't make assumptions about people or their characteristics based on stereotypes. You look like a woman, so I'm going to call you she or her. That'd be dangerous these days. Oh boy, see, I could not stand going to uni with people like that. I'd probably be kicked out of the group assignments and work with other sane people. Be conscious of the implications of your language. Avoid excluding others or making people invisible by your choice of language. When possible, empower the person or group to speak for themselves. If you need to speak on the behalf of a group of people, it is very important that you consider Anyway, let's look at some of the examples here. They want you to implement it in a workplace setting. Okay. Let's go down to some examples. Okay, some general principles to consider Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders. Be conscious of the diverse Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, acknowledging the historical context, and present systematic barriers faced by many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Always use Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in full and don't abbreviate Aboriginal shouldn't be used as a noun, e.g. the Aboriginal. What about calling someone by their bloody name? Isn't that what you kind of do? Or a mate? I guess this is in writing. This is in writing. Often that's what they're trying to do, but it just seems ludicrous when ATSI. Don't use terms half caste, full blood, and part Aboriginal should not be used. Yeah, I can see how that could piss some people off. Here we go, gender. This will be good. Good practice inclusive language. Only use gendered language when it is appropriate for the context, e.g. chair rather than chairman. Ask someone what their preferred pronouns are. He, she, they, ze. Okay, let's do a Google word search. Yep, no, Z is not even coming up in Google. There's no historical usage of that word. Sorry, it's not correct language. Use gender-neutral pronouns when possible. Avoid using unnecessary gender references. The male nurse, the female doctor, unless it is appropriate for the context. Don't make an assumption about someone's gender based on their name or physical features. See, I think they're blowing a lot of this out of proportion. I bet you if you just slip in a he or she into your essay, they'll mark you down for that when it really doesn't make any difference. It's probably just the way you're writing. You know, a lot of this stuff here is... if it is a male nurse, when it's to do with research, maybe there's a difference. Culture. Good practice for inclusive language. Only refer to someone's cultural background when it's appropriate for the context. Generally, it is unnecessary to refer to someone's cultural background, but if you do, you need to use people-centric language. Oh, the person of Sudanese descent. Avoid undue emphasis on differences, introducing all your colleagues, but describing one as Chinese. Yeah. Disability. See, I would have got in trouble for this. I'd refer to one of my friends as a blind Dave. Use people-centric language. The disability doesn't define the person, i.e. person with disability or people with disability. Avoid inappropriate language like cripple, handicap, mental patient, wheelchair-bound, disabled person. I mean, a lot of this is just being, not a dick, honestly. Sexuality. Oh, this will be good. If you don't know, use inclusive language such as partner rather than boyfriend or girlfriend to refer to someone's significant other unless the preferred term is specified by the person. See, this can be an issue, particularly at university. You're going to meet a whole lot of different people. And you go to someone, oh, how's your girlfriend or how's your boyfriend? And they go, oh, no, I'm gay. And you know what you do? You know how you react? Fantastic. Any hole's a goal. That's my standard response. It usually gets a laugh, at least from the blokes. The chicks are just, that's a whole other story. But, this seems like coaching for children, really. Avoid using gay in a derogatory way, e.g. that's so gay. Avoid using the word queer, as it can be seen offensive to some people. Generally, queer is used by some of the community. See, that surprised me. I thought that was like a claimed word. I don't understand. Only refer to age when relevant to the context. When it is necessary, use people-centric language, e.g. older adults or younger people. See, that's bullshit. No. When you're teaching, I was tutoring a subject, and we had to model up Star Wars ships, like TIE fighters and things, from the original movie, and using animation software. So we'd just grab the pictures on the web, and all these young people didn't know what the original Star Wars was. And they were all born in like 2000, which was just insane. Anyway, so I was not following that rule there. I was calling them young idiots. So, guys, this is what the hoo-ha is all about. You can see how people would slip stuff in and their marks would get dented over it. Some of the things are just inappropriate. Like, you wouldn't refer to the Aboriginal or this, or, you wouldn't be doing these things if you were writing in a professional context. You don't even need this type of document. I think it's people are quite sensitive to it with all that's going on around the world at the moment, where it's just free speech is being restricted, language is being restricted as much as you can imagine. So it's just getting a bit stupid. So I thought we'd have a look at it. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you reckon this is ludicrous, a waste of paper? Should they be focusing on, grammatical accuracy in their writing rather than all this rubbish? Is this just another lot of crap that the students need to worry about, that they really have got too much on their plate already? Well, guys, have a lovely day. Thank you for watching this episode of Heiser Says. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. Otherwise, see you next time. Bye.